Hello, Randy Rain again. To do more with my YouTube channel, I thought maybe I'll show you how to do faux wood graining, more like exactly how to make it look like an old crate wood. So let me show you how to do it. Alright, this is a display case for my dad's military flag. And so what I want to do is make it look like an old military crate, or that the wood was made from an old military crate. It is MDF, it's brand new, I made it, so it's nice and smooth already, and I've taped off the glass, and I've painted it with a light beige flat spray paint. Once it dried, I gave it a little light sanding to rough it up. And so now I'm going to do the wood graining on top of this. I am just going to use ordinary plaid acrylic paint. This is nutmeg is the color. So I've got I think it's called smoky beige and nutmeg. And I just need my wood graining tool and paintbrush. Now, the wood graining tool. This is the one I like. This is made by Plaid, the same people that make this paint. And I like it because it does more than one thing. So you can put it here, and you can use the wood graining in this direction, and you can flip it over, and you can do like this quarter sawn stuff here, or you can flip it over here and use it in this direction. And then it has this burling tool, which I really don't know what you're supposed to do, but it's some sort of motion like that, I think. But the burling tool, great tool, but they all work the exact same, and I'm going to be using the main part of this anyway. So there really isn't a trick to it. The really only trick to doing it is working real fast so you can do it multiple times until you get one that looks good. And if you work fast, and you can keep doing it over and over until something looks good. So if you do it and it's no, you just keep going, oh, finally you get one. But you're only going to get so many times and until the paint starts to dry. And the more you do that, it's going to start drying the more you do it. So you need to work fast. So my tool is a little smaller than this wood. So it's going to be done twice and maybe even 3 times to actually maybe fill the whole thing in and make it look like a solid piece of wood. When doing edges inside here, your eyes are not going to go to this when people are looking at it, so it's really not all that important. I'm just going to get as close in as I can, touch it up with a paintbrush, and that's enough. My main pieces are here on the sides and on the bottom. So let me get you closer, and I'll show you how to do this. Now the idea is to get paint in the shape of wood grain on this board. And there's 2 ways it can be done. The paint can be put on here with the brush, and the wood graining tool can be used to make it in that shape. Or the paint can be put onto the tool, and it can be spread across the board. Both ways work, and both ways have their advantages and disadvantages. Alright, time to give it a shot. I'm going to start off trying just putting it on the wood graining tool, working in, because I'm just going to work this edge here. And really, I just really want some lines on here. That's pretty much all I'm hoping to get here on the edge, is some sort of scraggly lines. Go with that. Get it nice and juicy. leave it at that. It looks like a pretty solid wood grain. Move over here. And that's the secret. The secret is just to do it. Slap it on there. Keep working with it. Move fast until you get something you like. Okay, you can see the grain that I've done on this side, and I've done it on this side, but I've not done it on the bottom because I can't set it anyway, so I'm going to wait till those dry. But again, I'm going to go ahead and work on this edge here while that's drying. Oh, again, the eye isn't going here. So anything like these little things here, any of this look of wood is fine for this edge. Alright, on this edge I thought I'd do it a little different to show you the other method. Go ahead and so alright, so it looks like some sort of wood now, but it's not about making it just look like wood. It's about making it look like old wood. So I've also added in these little emblems here of the National Guard that my dad was in. I found them on a model online. I 3D printed them out, and I painted them with spray hammerite paint and gold. It came out nice. I put them in there now because I want to age them along with the wood. For the aging, you're going to need some flat black paint, some different color size brushes, a really thin one, some cups, and some water. And let me show you, get you back closer. The first thing, I need some of this flat black paint. Then I'm going to add just a little bit of water to it to thin it down. I want it nice and soupy. Not runny, but soupy. Let's look at it with this emblem. I want to get it into the letters for sure. Okay, that looks like I want it what I want. Alright, so I'm going to start up here at the top. Now, the first thing I want to do is make hard edges on the spots that are hard lines. So this is a seam. I want it to show as a seam. Like so. Since the wood grain is running this way, at the end of pieces of wood, you get what is called checks. I'll go ahead and finish it back here. And those are cracks in the wood. So that's what I'm going to add now. And I'm just going to add in some checks. Some of them are long. Some of them are short. But there's going to be a whole bunch of them. Little ones and big ones all along this edge right here. Because this edge has been worn down. And that's what you want to do, is you want to create a story of what's happened here. Like here, this big check right down this way. And you can use your finger to feather it out. Use the side of the brush. Really doesn't matter. It's hard to do wrong here because it's just weathering. So we'll start with that. But the checks are always going to run with the grain. They would never come out this way. So as you come up here, the checks would still be going the direction of the grain. You can also come up into spots here and give it a little feather, just to add a little bit. If you see something, add little things like that to it. I'll flip it around and do it this way. Alright, now you also want to hit some edges here. And I'm just going to do it with the side of the brush. I don't want hard edges, but I want a dark line going down that edge. And I want a dark line down back here. Maybe not so much as checks in the wood, but as shadows at least. Now I'll do down here. It doesn't matter so much right now to get this absolutely looking perfect. Right now, it's more about the hard lines that you want to make sure get seen. Now let's work on the front. Again, I want the seam to be aged. A little aging through here. Now you can see why it didn't matter so much of getting the grain exactly right here in the front. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is take a little bit and water my black down a little bit. And I'm going to use a bigger black brush. So now I'm making more of a wash than I am the paint. And so I'm going to kind of go over the same spots and do this and exaggerate the same thing that I'd already done. And so underneath it's going to stay and it's going to be darker, but I'm putting a little wash on top of it. All those first lines are kind of getting blurred out with the layer, with the thin wash layer that gets put on top. So don't worry about the first ones looking cartoonish of some sort, like here, very cartoonish looking. But if I take the wash, see, now it's not so harsh anymore. Same thing with this, those shadow lines that I put in. Blur them out. Again, you can look here, as we see these harsh lines that I drew out. Now with the wash, I make them even more. And bring them out. Same thing here. Put in my wash, let it soak into this here. I want that seam to go dark because that's where a lot of dust and corrosion and mildew and everything. Alright, one last time, I'm going to add a little bit more water to my black and really water it down. And maybe a little more. Really water the black down. This way that it's a complete wash. See the other side. Just come in. You have to remember, with it watered down this much, it's going to dry a lot lighter. So really at this point, I'm just kind of discoloring the wood. So I'm going to work on the front here. Really want to come underneath. Really want that shadow underneath here. Really a shadow on the bottom here. Alright, well that's it. You pretty much do the wood graining and then you dirty it up with black paint. Sure, it's hard to see on here. But there's one more step, and that's to clear coat it. And that's very important. It's going to make all the wood grain pop. So it definitely, do not leave it like it is. Put a clear coat on it. The method I'm going to use is I'm going to first spray it with clear lacquer. That will protect the paint that's on here, so it'll really secure it in. But I don't want it shiny like that. So the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to hit that with a matte clear finish. So take a little bit of the shine off of there, but still keep the wood grain popping. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. And this is in memory of my father.